welcome to the channel for my Premier League predictions. Game week 31. Game week 30 was a midweek. The results in game week 30 was interesting and shocking. Manchester United got beaten at the City ground by 1-0, and Arsenal too got a 2-1 victory against Fulham in game week 30. Manchester City got a 2-0 victory against Leicester City at the King Power Stadium in game 30, which in that game, Jack Grealish, after 1 year and so many days, he finally scored his first Premier League goal for Manchester City. So going into these games in game 31, I'm looking out for spot-on predictions. My name is Andy Final. My like target for this video is just 50 likes. Like and comment your thoughts in your predictions at the comment section. Without wasting much of your time, let's get into the game 31 predictions. So starting off in game 31 predictions, the first game coming on at the Goodison Park is between Everton versus Arsenal. In game 30, Arsenal got a 2-1 victory over Fulham, and Everton also lost in a derby game against Liverpool by 1-0. Going into this game in game 31 at the Goodison Park, Everton hosting Arsenal. Everton in their last 5 games in all competition, they've lost 1 and they've drew 4. Arsenal too in their last 5 games in all competition are able to win 3 and drew 2. So going into this game is going to be a very difficult, hot afternoon. Looking at Everton on the league table at the moment, they are 15th on the Premier League table with 34 points, assistance in game 30. Looking at Arsenal too, Arsenal at the moment, they are also second on the Premier League table with 61 points, assistance in game 30. Going to this game in game 31 at Goodison Park, Bukayo Saka in their last game came from the bench and got the winner. Even though he got injured and he has been out for months, well, he shows that he has been the missing piece in this Arsenal squad. So Arsenal going to Goodison Park with their entire squad and Bukayo Saka back in the squad. I don't think Everton is going to get even a draw in this game. I'm predicting this game to go in favor of Arsenal. My prediction for this game, I'm predicting Arsenal to Everton 0. Yes, moving on to the next game at the Selhurst Park is between Crystal Palace versus Brighton. Going into this game in game 31 is going to be an interesting encounter between these two teams. Crystal Palace in their last 5 games in all competition have won 4 and drew only 1. And Brighton too in their last 5 games in all competition and won 2. So going into this game, looking at Crystal Palace at the moment on the Premier League table, they are 12th on the Premier League table with 40 points, assistance in game 30. Talking about Brighton too, at the moment they are also 8th on the Premier League table with 47 points, assistance in game 30. Going to this game at the Selhurst Park in game 31 is going to be an interesting and a difficult one. And going to this game, I'm predicting this game to end in a draw. I'm going for a 2-2 draw. Crystal Palace to Brighton 2. Yes, moving on to the next game at Portman Road is between Ipswich Town versus Wolves. This is going to be an interesting game coming on in game week 31. Ipswich Town in their last game in game 30 got a 2-1 victory over AFC Bournemouth. Ipswich Town in their last 5 games in all competition, they are able to win 1 and lost 4. Wolves too in the last 5 games in all competition, they've won 2, drew 1 and lost 2. So going to this game at Portman Road, game 31 is going to be a very difficult game for both sides. Assistance, looking at Ipswich Town on the Premier League table, they are now 18th on the Premier League table with 20 points, assistance in game 30. They are also 17th on the Premier League table with 29 points, assistance in game 30. Going to this game in game 31 is going to be a very difficult game for both sides. I know Wolves are missing some of their key players, and going into this game against Ipswich Town, I'm predicting this game to go in favor of Ipswich Town. My prediction for this game, I'm predicting Ipswich Town to get a 2-1 victory over Wolves. Ipswich Town 2, Wolves 1. Moving on to the next game at the London Stadium is between West Ham United versus AFC Bournemouth. Looking at both teams, AFC Bournemouth in their last 5 games in all competition, they've drew 2 and lost 3. Looking at West Ham too, in their last 5 games in all competition, they've won 2, drew 1 and lost 2. So going to this game at London Stadium in game 31 against a Bournemouth side who started the season very well, but well, in their last 5 games in all competition, they have not been the side that they started. And this is going to be a crucial point for them in the season. If they are pushing to get an European spot at the end of the season, this is a game that AFC Bournemouth must push for at least a point. Even though in game 30, both teams, West Ham United lost their game and AFC Bournemouth also lost their game in game 30. So looking at both teams on the Premier League table, AFC Bournemouth at the moment, they are 10th on the Premier League table with 44 points assistance in game 30. Talking about West Ham United on the Premier League table, they are also 16th on the Premier League table with 34 points assistance in game 30. 10 points different between AFC Bournemouth and West Ham United on the Premier League table. So this game is going to be an interesting one at the London Stadium. And I'm predicting West Ham United to get a narrow victory over AFC Bournemouth. My prediction for this game, I'm going for a 1-0 victory for West Ham United. West Ham United 1, AFC Bournemouth 0. So let's move on to the next game at the Villa Park. Is between Aston Villa versus Nottingham Forest. Aston Villa at the moment, they are the best team on form in the Premier League. In their last 5 games in all competition, Aston Villa has managed to win all the 5 games in all competitions. So going into this game against Nottingham Forest side, who is also doing well on the Premier League table, but well, Nottingham Forest in the last 5 games in all competition, they've managed to win 3 and drew 2. So going into this game in game 31 at the Villa Park, Aston Villa versus Nottingham Forest. This is going to be a very, very difficult game for both sides because each team is performing. And let's talk about Marco Asensio. What a player. What a signing. I think to me, he is the best signing of the season. Back-to-back, scoring goals back-to-back for Aston Villa. And well, Marcus Rashford, to be frank with you, I think right now we all know that Marcus Rashford wasn't the problem at Manchester United because now he's performing at Aston Villa, assisting and even scoring goals. In their last game, he scored a goal, and well, to fair play to Marcus Rashford. Going into this game at the Villa Park in game 31, Aston Villa hosting Nottingham Forest. My prediction for this game, I'm going for a draw game. My prediction is a 1-1 draw. Aston Villa 1, Nottingham Forest 1. Yes, so moving on to the next game at the GTEC Community Stadium is between Brentford versus Chelsea. Brentford going into this game, in their last 5 games, they've lost 2, win 2 and drew 1. Chelsea too in their last 5 games in all competition are able to win 4 games and lost only 1 out of 5 games. So Chelsea going into this game, they are coming with a good form and a good record. Going into this game against Brentford. In the first leg, Chelsea got a victory over Brentford. Looking at Brentford at the moment on the Premier League table, they are 11th on the Premier League table with 41 points assistance in game 30. And Chelsea too is 6th on the Premier League table with 49 points assistance in game 30. Going into this game at the GTEC Community Stadium in game 31 is going to be a tough game for both sides. But well, I know Chelsea, Cole Palmer is back, Nicolas Jackson is back. I'm not expecting Chelsea to drop points in this game against Brentford. So I'm predicting Chelsea to get a 2-0 victory over Brentford. Chelsea 2, Brentford 0. Moving on to the next game at the Craven Cottage is between Fulham versus Liverpool. This is going to be an interesting game in game week 31. To be frank with you, in game week 30, Liverpool got a 1-0 victory over Everton. Fulham also lost 2-1 against Aston in game week 30. Fulham in their last 5 games, they've gotten 1 win, 1 draw, and 3 losses. Talking about Liverpool, Liverpool too in their last 5 games in all competition have managed to get 3 wins, 2 losses in all competitions. So Liverpool going to this game at the Craven Cottage is going to be a very hot and difficult game for both sides. Even though Fulham is not on good form and at the moment, it looks like Liverpool has already won the Premier League. So going into this game is just another game for them to claim another 3 points. Fulham are now 9th on the Premier League table with 45 points. And Liverpool is first on the Premier League table with 73 points as it stands in game week 30. Going into this game at the Craven Cottage in game week 31, my prediction, I'm predicting Liverpool to get a 2-0 victory over Fulham. Liverpool 2, Fulham 0. Yes, moving on to the next game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is between Tottenham Hotspur versus Southampton. Tottenham Hotspur in their last 5 games in all competition have only got 1 win, 1 draw, and 3 losses. And looking at both teams, Tottenham Hotspur is now 14th on the Premier League table with just 34 points as it stands in game 30. And talking about Southampton, they are the bottom 20th on the Premier League table with just 10 points out of 30 games in the Premier League season. So going into this game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, I'm predicting Tottenham Hotspur to get a 3-1 victory over Southampton. Tottenham Hotspur 3, Southampton 1. Yes, and moving on to the game of the week in Premier League, game week 31 at the Old Trafford Stadium is between Manchester United versus Manchester City. Talking about Manchester United, in the last 5 games in all competition, they've managed to win 2, drew 2, and lost 1. Manchester City too in the last 5 games in all competition have managed to get 3 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss. So going into this game in game week 31 at the Old Trafford Stadium, Manchester United hosting Manchester City. This is the derby game and this is going to be tough. To be frank with you, Manchester City at the moment, they are still going through injury crisis. The recent one is Erling Haaland, who just got injured and is going to miss the rest of the season. So Manchester City going into this game without Haaland, Mamouche is doing his best and he's scoring goals. And Jack Grealish in their last game to also score goals. So I think scoring goals is not going to be a problem for Manchester City. But we're going into this game, which is a derby game. The first leg, Manchester United got a victory over Manchester City. And this game coming on at the Old Trafford, I think this is going to be a draw game. I'm predicting this game to end in a 1-1 draw. Manchester United 1, Manchester City 1. Yes, moving on to the last game in Premier League, game week 31 is at the King Power Stadium. Is between Leicester City versus Newcastle United. At the moment, Leicester in their last 5 games in all competition have lost all the 5 games in all competitions. And at the moment, looking at Leicester on the Premier League table, Leicester is now 19th on the Premier League table with just 17 points out of 30 games in the Premier League season. And talking about Newcastle United in the last 5 games in all competition, they've managed to win 3 and lost 2. So going into this game at the King Power Stadium is like a banana skin for Newcastle United. Looking at them, they are also 5th on the Premier League table with 50 points as it stands in game 30. And going into this game at King Power Stadium, I'm predicting nothing but a win for Newcastle United. I don't think Leicester City is good enough to even get a draw out of this game. So going into this game, I'm predicting a 3-1 victory for Newcastle United. Newcastle United 3, Leicester City 1. Yes, so these are my predictions for Premier League game week 31. My name is Andy Fine. My like target for this video is just 50 likes. Drop your comment and your predictions at the comment section. Till we meet in another video. Bye bye for now.